When the lights come on, burning like the sun, you can feel the heat. Whoa. When the pressures rise, building up inside, trying to break it down, but you come back stronger, ready to fight. Can't wait any longer. It's our time. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars to make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Ethan Burrell, big spin by the 50-60s. It won't be enough. Chris Records on the back of Johnny Jones, who covered the last. Johnny is going to Victor Lane at the Daytona scores the win. The home place beer company by
It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make it. Stronger than that. It's like a force of nature. No stopping now. It's the stars that make it. Stronger than that. Stronger than that.
Welcome, race fans, to the virtual Kansas Motor Speedway for tonight's sight of the Kansas 200. I'm Alexander Ned here, joined in the booth by Robert Hill Jr., filling in for our ailing and COVID-stricken there, Dave, our normal producer. We hope you are feeling better there, Dave. We wish you were here. But tonight is going to be a fun night nonetheless. These drivers all gunning for that shot at the championship. 9 of them, 8, and I'll mention more about that later. But 8 drivers all with the shot tonight. Here, Robert.
We have 9 drivers, like you mentioned, 8, as you can see on the bottom of the screen here. RC Anderson will not be here tonight and will not be here next week, as he is currently in Sebring doing some real-world racing. So unfortunately, himself and Dave Huckleberry, both notable absences for us here tonight. Alex, qualifying just wrapped up. Jared Rexing on the pole. 134 laps here, Alex, 6 sets of tires, and as you'll see on our scoring tower, we do have a couple different colors on there. Green indicates they are locked in. Currently, only Mathieu Weeks is locked in. Yellow indicates they are currently in a playoff spot, and red indicates they are currently on the outside looking in, so that's something to follow along with tonight as we are getting set to go here shortly.
Congratulations to Jared Rexing, winner of the pole here tonight, and I'm excited. This 1.5 mile speedway, Kansas Speedway, it's been known to play havoc in the real world as you take a look. And unfortunately for RC Anderson, him being out, that guarantees somebody else is going to be in.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex.
Yeah.
As you see, Tyler Fode did have a 29-point gap coming into tonight, which if he can have himself a good night, he should be able to lock himself in there alongside Mathieu Weeks. And then that gives guys like Chad Frankenfield, Tate Lytle, Ryan Gavel, Josh Clark, even Shane Terrian and Hank Steinmiller a good chance to work their way into the playoff spots here, as RC will not be here, as we mentioned. And why don't we send it down and take a look at the grid?
Yep, you can take a look here. Jared Rexing, Scott Crump, gonna be on the front row. Johnny Thomas, Hank Steinmiller, our first of our playoff drivers. Then Chad Frankenfield, Zach Rogers, Tyler Fode, Tate Lytle, Shane Terrian, and Chris Wright, rounding out your top 10. Just outside of that, Bronson Stafford, excuse me. And then I did not see who that was. Oh, Dustin Dewar. Sorry there, Dustin.
And Wesley Crump, Mathieu Weeks there, 13th, 14th with Michael Hosack, Ryan Gavel, Harrison Talon, Michael Goodman, Justin Forder, and Trey Holmes rounding out the top 20 there. Chase driver Josh Clark in 21st with Andrew Rucker beside him. Nick Massey and Jeff Green there up in the top 25 as well with Brent Jones, Gerald Campbell, Marker Bilas, Justin Vandermeer, Rusty Capel, David Tooker rounding out the top 30. Tooker making his return after a few weeks away. Ethan Burrell also making a rare appearance here tonight, as well as Danny Martinez, Wyatt Knadel, Joey Chavin, and Josh Personette rounding out the 35-car field for us here tonight, Alex. This one should be a good one. It's been an interesting season for these guys so far with a few different winners and a lot of close racing.
We are about to get race number 2, the round of 9 underway here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Who will be able to conquer the Midwest? Barry, the flagman, has the green flag in hand. We are racing. The Kansas 200 is green here on the Elite Racing Network.
As you can see, Jared Rexing gets a nice little jump on the start there, just ahead of Scott Crump. The outside lane didn't really get going there on the start. Crump's getting nice help from Mike Steinmiller, racing back to the outside of Rexing here, but they have to be careful on that outside line. It can pull you up into that wall rapidly, Alex.
I saw that during some of the limited practice. I was able to see some of these drivers practice getting into that high line. It'll be interesting to see if drivers migrate further up as the race progresses. Scott Crump, though, has his hand full, and he goes around off the front end of Hank Steinmiller, and around goes Scott Crump into the inside wall. Our first caution of the night is out. We were just talking about that. I think he got just a little bit too high, and he has some damage on that car.
Yeah, definitely. Look at the left front there. It looks like he definitely took a big hit into that inside wall. We'll take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened to Scott Crump, but he is not going to be too pleased with that early on in this one.
Definitely not something you want to have happen early in this one. And yeah, I don't think there was any contact between him and Hank Steinmiller. I think he just, well, there might have been.
Yeah, looks like Hank did get into the left rear there. Nice job by, I believe that was Johnny Thomas, just getting by that on the inside there as Scott Crump goes for a spin into the inside wall. He is going to hit that at quite a heavy pace there.
That is a pretty significant contact there. And he
Absolutely
will have to take some time to fix that. And a tally to the 63, yes. That's unfortunate.
As you can see, no, that is definitely not something that somebody such as Scott Crump wants to see, obviously, with the damage. But you also have to think of it from the side of Hank Steinmiller as well, one of our playoff guys on the outside looking in. That is a tally on lap number 3 of the event, meaning that he only has one more to give in this thing. And if it's going to get as tight as it was on those 3 laps, it may end up being a short night for Hank Steinmiller.
And that's unfortunate considering last week, you have to go back and we'll have to talk about it. There, he was in a position to win that race, perhaps, and just was unable to get it done there. You were a part of that race last week. Walk us through your night that week there, Robert.
Yeah, last week was definitely an interesting race. We saw a fair bit of damage throughout the field, and fortunately I was able to take advantage of some others' misfortune, get a pretty decent top 15 finish. We ran fairly well all night long, and you know, I'm not one of those playoff guys. I was eliminated after round 1, but it was a race that definitely shook things up a bit, and you know, I thought Hank Steinmiller was going to be the one to lock himself into the championship race, and it turned out that the field had other plans for us.
And that's got to be frustrating too, considering you think it almost got it in the bag. Your strategy is almost set in stone, and then to have caution after caution. I was amazed that he was able to get it that as far as he did. The game was in one turn.
Yeah, it definitely all does come down to strategy. If you can get the right strategy, you can find yourself at the front, even if you are somebody that typically runs, 15th through 20th. If you play your cards right, there's a good chance that you can end up at the front of this thing with a chance at the end. But, unfortunately, Hank came up a little bit short. And if he comes down to a few points out of the final round, he's definitely going to be shaking his head and thinking back to that race to see what he could have done differently. But, lights are off on the pace car here, Alex, and we're getting set to go green once again.
They'll have to keep that 63 machine extra clean. Already a tally for a playoff driver. Barry has the flag in his hand once again, and he's waving it. Jared Rexing leads them back for the restart. We are once again racing here at Kansas.
Nice jump there for Rexing, getting ahead of the field there. Hank Steinmiller and Johnny Thomas battling there for second. Just behind them is Chad Frankenfield and Zach Rogers. Frankenfield, one of those guys currently inside the chase field, just a few points to the good. But as we mentioned, R.C. Anderson not here tonight, so that gives a guy like Chad an opportunity to go for it. As we see two Sky Motorsports teammates battling here, that is Tyler Fody and Shane Tarian. Tarian and Fody both playoff drivers, so when it comes down to a race like this, I think you have to race your teammate and go for it.
Yep. I would say so. You'll give up a little bit of space here early, as he does. A lane and a half below. But I would agree there. This stage of the season, as we see a battle for the lead shaping up. There's Hank Steinmiller using the outside lane.
Yeah, Hank Steinmiller trying whatever lane he can to see if he can get around Jared Rexing. Rexing always a strong competitor here in the Cup Series, but not somebody that we've seen running up front as much as he would like. But, he was quickest in qualifying. He was very quick in practice as well. And he's showing that pace early on here in the Kansas 200.
Hank's not giving up on that outside line.
Hank definitely not one to give up, as you see Chad Frankenfield now dropping behind Rexing, now up behind Steinmiller, trying to figure out who his friend's going to be here to go forward.
And I'm liking the chance.
Chris Wright back there, a little loose.
Yes. Chris Wright in the 57 car, I believe. Yep. Had a little bit of a moment there, but we stayed green. And like we said, most people, I assume, would go to the high side here. That seems to be the wanted and preferred group here at Kansas.
Yeah, as you can see, there's actually a lot more banking here than people might think as we watch Hank Steinmiller now into 3. That car gets right up basically on its side going through these corners, so that outside lane does allow a little bit more rotation. As you see, Steinmiller did clear Rexing there. Chad Frankenfield did as well, and now John Thomas making a move for third. So Rexing maybe wore out his tires a little early here.
You see him beginning to search and go up the racetrack. First time we've seen him in the high limit.
Absolutely, as we see the 32
Meanwhile,
of Dustin Dorr falling back here. Yeah, it's a nice gaggle of cars here battling for position. That's Mathieu Weeks in the 11 car there at 9th. Ryan Gavel to his outside. Chris Wright on the bottom. Things getting a little tight there. Wright, I believe, made a little bit of contact with Weeks. That could have been a little interesting as well.
Gavel to the outside there. Mathieu Weeks, though, the only driver to feel comfortable here tonight after that stunning performance at New Hampshire just last week.
Absolutely.
And that's he's really excited. I remember in his interview, he was optimistic Nashville, the site of the championship race. He says that he runs well there. And that's another mile and a half speedway. So could tonight be a precursor to what we see in 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, you know, a guy like Mathieu Weeks is really just out there making laps here tonight. He's already locked in, as you see by that green box, indicating he is locked in, the only one to be locked in here, and he's just out here turning laps and getting prepared for Nashville next week, which, like you mentioned, is one of his favorite tracks. As Chad Frankenfield now goes to the bottom of Hank Steinmiller, taking a look at the lead. He won't get it this time, but now crossover to the outside.
The 63 there had a big moment out of the turn 2. Almost lost the car.
Yeah, that could have made things really interesting if he lost it in front of Frankenfield, another playoff contender. And, you know, Chad has not had the greatest of weeks here in the Elite Racing League. Monday night, he got into it with Scott Crump, and both of those guys had heavy damage by the end of that thing, getting into each other a few times. So that's something I'm definitely going to keep my eye on tonight. Scott Crump running in 27th, Frankenfield up here in second, but you never know. Things may end up being close at the end of this thing. Another battle here. Shane Terrian and Zach Rogers battling for the 4th position, with Terrian on the outside, Rogers on the inside.
That is a nice battle there for the 5th position. 4th, excuse me.
Yeah, 4th and 5th here. Terrian and the rookie Zach Rogers. Rogers falls back in behind, but just behind them, Tyler Fody, Johnny Thomas battling for 6th here. Fody currently with the edge over Johnny Thomas. Tate Lytle just behind them, running at 8th. He has not gained and has not lost since the start of this thing. Just a nice slow run for Tate, trying to save his tires, trying to be there at the end of this thing.
And Kansas Motor Speedway, as Fody, I believe, hit the wall right there. Just
I do believe so.
I was going to say just before that, though, Kansas is one of those places where we could get a long green flag run.
We definitely could, and you know, this week we have seen that in the Grand National Series on Monday. We did go caution-free at Nashville. As this is the battle for the lead right here. We have 4 cars basically under a blanket. Frankenfield,
yes.
Steinmiller, Rexing's back. Jared Rexing back in the battle. Shane Terrian joining as well. Hank Steinmiller in the wall.
Into the wall hard. Has to catch it. And he has lost a number of positions there. And
yeah, as you
probably
see,
hurt the performance of that race car.
It most definitely will have an effect on that race car. As you see, Hank Steinmiller dropped from 1st all the way back to the 6th position, and he will continue to fall here, as we'll try to get a look at the right side of that machine in just a moment once our camera does switch over, as he almost made contact here with Johnny Thomas. This has not been the greatest of laps for Hank Steinmiller.
From leading the race to in the wall.
Yeah, look at that, Alex. His right front is broken.
Definitely damage to the right front of that car.
Yeah, as you could see there just moments ago on camera, Hank Steinmiller, the right front fender has detached from the body. So that's a large gap there. Zach Rogers gets a little piece of the wall as well. They're in the 6th position, but Hank Steinmiller does not need that right now.
And he's lucky that did not trigger a caution or have more trouble, because with a tally already on him, he could have been looking at a DNF.
Absolutely, and you know, we do have all 35 cars currently running in this thing, so if he were to get a DNF, he would just score a small handful of points in this thing. And a guy like Hank Steinmiller, like we mentioned, looking here, he was 28 points out coming into tonight, so he needs to maximize on his points, and getting a tally early on and then hitting the wall just a few laps later, definitely not what he needed here.
So through all that, Jared Rexing has been able to retake the lead. Tate Lytle up to 2nd place. He is the highest of our playoff drivers.
Yeah, Tate Lytle doing a nice job. Just a few moments ago, I had mentioned how he was not gaining and not losing, just staying in the 8th position, and Tate was able to take advantage of that. As you see, he does have a bit of an advantage here over Rexing. He looks like he has a bit more pace, and I think that's because he saved his tires. And we will definitely see Tate Lytle in the lead in mere moments here. But just kind of taking a brief glance through the field, one chase driver not having a great night. Actually, we'll take a quick look here. Tate Lytle running the wall, trying to do what he can to get by Rexing.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to run that wall. Let's actually ride on board here with Tate Lytle as he goes to the outside of Rexing. You can see Jared Rexing here on the front of Tate Lytle's screen. Tate is right there with him. He's about to make that pass for the lead.
Let's see what happens as they go into one. I like what you said, the pace in that 56 car seems to be a little bit better than the 10. You see the 10 with the wobble there. And we have a new leader, third lead change of the night, back to Tate Lytle, who will lead his first lap and get a point because of that.
Yeah, and Tate Lytle was very close to that cutoff, 2 points out. Just by starting this thing, he would technically move into one of those currently in the playoff positions with RC not being here. But if you look at the lap times, Tate Lytle 0.3 of a second quicker than Jared Rexing last time by. That is a large difference at this point in the run. So Tate Lytle definitely looking good here early on. Just a quick update on our previous race leader, Hank Steinmiller, currently finds himself back in a gaggle of cars here, running in the 14th position. So Hank Steinmiller moving backwards as he's getting passed now by Wesley Crump. Not a start that a guy like Hank needed here. And another chase driver really struggling here tonight by the looks of it, Josh Clark. As you can see, he is also in a large gaggle of cars, just passed by Mark Rabilas, now running in the 29th position. So that is not the run that Josh Clark needed either, as he entered tonight 7 points out of a playoff position. But being 29th so far behind does not help whatsoever.
He is the furthest back of our playoff drivers, and not making his way up through the field as fast as he would like, no doubt.
Absolutely not. You know, a guy like Clark was looking forward to tonight to try to maximize his points, especially with RC Anderson not being here. You really have to take advantage and try to build as much of a buffer as you can on that last playoff spot. Unfortunately for Clark, his buffer's going the other way, as he is definitely further out of the playoffs at this point. As you see Mathieu Weeks running the wall again, he's just out here for laps and experience. Heading in next week, the finale of round number 2, and then in 2 weeks' time, we'll head down to the Nashville Super Speedway for the finale. Tate Lytle's looking real good here. 0.7 of a second now, Alex, over Jared Rexing.
I was just about to. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Hank Steinmiller
is now on pit road, and I was just about to ask, what do you decide to pit here if you're in Hank's shoes, because you can't afford to be losing as many positions as what he was.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, honestly, if that was the worst call for Hank. He's struggled so far. I think if he can come down, get a fresh set of tires, and kind of hit that reset button as you see the right side get jacked up on that machine, I think it may be the right call for him. Looks like Dustin Dewar also coming. Oh, we have a wreck here.
Blasting into the outside wall.
That looks like Wyatt Knadel.
Is that Wyatt Knadel? Yes, in the 84, crashing on the front stretch, and our second yellow flag is going to come out. That is good news, though, for Hank, though. He had just made that pit stop. He'll go a lap down, but he's the only car one lap down. He'll get a lap back.
Hank does remain on pit road, probably getting that damage fixed at this point. But let's take a look at the Whiskey Cast replay and see what happened to Wyatt Knadel to bring out the caution here for our second yellow of the evening.
I just saw
Looks like
somebody
Dustin
going,
Dewar, actually. Let's back this up even further and head over to Dustin Dewar because it looks like it begins with him.
He does.
Yeah, he just gets a little loose on the outside of Nick Massey there. Wyatt Knadel gets a little piece of it. Dustin back up into the wall, back up, back down. Wyatt trying to collect it. Ends up in the grass. He comes up, I believe, into Brent Jones and somebody else here. I can't catch who that was. Maybe Daniel Martinez?
I didn't
Michael
see.
No. Joey Chapman is who that
60.
other car was.
Yes.
And what this does...
Front traffic, pit road is going to be a busy place. Everybody is in.
Everybody, with the exception of Josh Clark, who we just spoke about, needing those points to work his way up there,
Probably
back into
getting
a playoff spot.
Before he goes down pit road there. Robert,
Absolutely.
I would expect trying to get every point he can, and why not?
Absolutely, he really has to, Alex. He needs every bonus point he could possibly get. As you do see Josh Clark, Daniel Martinez, the only two currently on the track. But I believe this is a good opportunity for us to send it to our partners at TA Services for a little message from them. And we are back. That was a message from our friends over at TA Services. They're a great partner of us here at Elite Racing Leagues. Another great partner is Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. We thank Blue Egg for their partnership, as well as BrizzyCam. Brizzy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Brizzy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across 4 continents. Thank you to BrizzyCam for their support. And of course, as this is the Join APS Cup Series, we have to thank our partners over at Join APS. APS offers a complete solution for all types of businesses that need to process credit card related transactions. Their industry-specific solutions provide the best options for your business model. They have experienced client services representatives who understand what your processing needs are. And back down to the racetrack, Tate Lytle has regained the lead after Josh Clark made his pit stop. Jared Rexing just behind him, which had Frankenfield, Tyler Fody, and Shane Terrian rounding out the top 5. Trey Holmes, Chris Wright, Zach Rogers, Ryan Gavel, and Johnny Thomas, the top 10. Hank Steinmiller is currently 2 laps down, just coming off pit road. Dustin Dewar also 2 laps down, and it does appear that Wyatt Knadel is out of the event.
Unfortunate for the 84 car. Also unfortunate for the 63. I thought he would get a break, but when that caution came out and only be 1 lap down, but 2 laps, he's gonna have to hope for a quick caution in order to be placed 1 lap down, and he'll have to be the first car 1 lap down, or however many laps down. He'll have to be the first car in order to make it around. So
absolutely, and as you just saw on the screen there, that tally was on the 32 of Dustin Dewar for causing the latest yellow flag here. So Dustin Dewar and Hank Steinmiller both with tallies. And just another quick update, Wyatt Knadel has left pit road and rejoined the field. he will be just a few laps down, 3 laps to be exact, as Flagman has the flag waving.
Tate Lytle brings him down through the Geico restart zone, and he's off and away. A great start. A push from Chad Frankenfield there, as Chad tries to get second place. They're mixing it up behind him, though. Here comes Chad storming to the outside, trying to get a lap led. He might do so right here.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield gets a little bit of a jump there over Tate Lytle. So Frankenfield may indeed lead this lap, and he will.
Do so. And give a bonus point to him.
Yeah, Chad Frankenfield was very close to that cutoff, just 2 points above entering tonight. So every bonus point does indeed help him out, as Tate Lytle is battling him continuously here on the bottom. Chad does have a little edge right now with Jared Rexing just behind, as well as Tyler Fody and Trey Holmes up here in the top 5. You actually see Ryan Gavel looking 3 wide on the high side here. It does not work, but he's going to try it again as things got a little close with Terrian and Holmes.
That was close. I believe Chad has a short run car versus Tate Lytle with the long run. So we'll see Tate perhaps fade a little bit back early in this run, but he'll start to be stronger as the run goes on, if we get that green flag.
Yeah, a guy like Chad Frankenfield has said it himself. He is not a long run driver. He's not great at saving his tires. So Chad's just going to try to take advantage of the race here, see if we can get a few cautions that line up with some short runs for him. We do have 6 sets of tires here, so if we get a few cautions, Chad can come back down, take tires, and come right back out and do it all over again. As you do see, Tate Lytle has fallen about a half second behind. So Frankenfield does have the pace here, but I do not believe he can sustain it as long as a guy like Tate Lytle, like Tyler Fody, and even Ryan Gavel up there. Gavel's been trying every line as well, as he's worked his way up into the top 5 after starting 16th. So nice gains so far for Ryan Gavel.
How about our pole setter there, Jared Rexing? Can't be sleeping on him.
No, we can definitely not be sleeping on Rexing. He's been really strong so far tonight. Obviously, only lap 39 coming to 40 right now, but he has shown his pace as well. And, you know, he's not a playoff driver, but he can still come out here and try to steal some trophies from these boys.
Liking the kick in the tires, the paint scheme that Chad has, a little bit of Christmas on that race car there. Pretty cool.
It is. We do. It looks like some National Lampoons possibly on the back quarter panel there, just off camera now. But I do like that paint scheme. We have a couple other Christmas schemes I've noticed in the field as well. Michael Goodman running some plaid there on his Do Good machine. That looks pretty nice.
That's pretty cool.
And Dustin Doers, well, actually Doers not running his Christmas car. But on Monday nights, they do both have a nice plaid and green do-good machine. So hopefully he can bring that out next week. But it is nice seeing these guys with some Christmas schemes going on. As you do see Wyatt Canado going a lap down.
And currently in that free pass position is the 32 car, Dustin Doer, because he's only 1 lap down. So not what Hank Steinmiller needs to see or wanted to see, should I say.
As we actually have a caution here. Whoa.
Oh, a big crash.
Okay, I see a Christmas car in there. Yeah, that's Michael Goodman. Looks like Michael Goodman was involved in that one, as well as Joey Chapman, Rusty Capel, and Justin Fortner. Let's take, oh, it looks like somebody's blowing up there. I believe that is Fortner. Right? No, that is actually Justin Fortner. Very similar paint scheme between those two guys. But let's take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened here to bring out our latest caution here. Michael Goodman involved in that one.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This is a multi-car crash, too. Take a look and see what happened from high above.
Looks like Goodman came down across the nose of The number 18 of Josh Personette comes back up right in front of Justin Fortner.
Oh,
Joey Chapman nowhere to go. Rusty Capel piles into that one as
three
well.
cars hard to the outside. They
Yeah,
had nowhere to go. Yep.
that's just unfortunate for those guys. But unfortunately, I do believe we will lose a couple cars out of that one. Dustin Dewar should be getting the lucky dog, though. As he does.
He will be put back on the lead lap, and that's good news for Steinmiller because the next caution flag, should he, or perhaps he'll stay out right here.
I
And
do.
get a lap back.
So we do have 4 cars that stayed out. Nick Massey, Matthew Weeks, Bronson Stafford, and Joshua Clark.
See what tires really mean here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys last pit on lap number 31. So there's going to be about a 13 lap difference, 12 lap difference between first place Nick Massey and 5th place Jared Rexing. So it'll be very interesting to see that tire difference. If I was one of those guys that stayed out, I was definitely hoping for more cars between myself and those fresh tires. But those guys that stayed out do have a lot of talent, and we may be able to see one of them put it to good use and
I
build
like
a
the
little bit
11
of a gap.
Why not save a set of tires here and use it to your advantage perhaps later on?
That's exactly right. Matthew Weeks already locked into the final round, so he may as well just stay out there and save a set for the end and you know, maybe have the opportunity put a fresh set on late in the run and go steal another win. The best he can do is steal the win from somebody else and make it even tougher for all of them next week.
Nick Massey, hard to believe that that man is not a part of our championship grid.
Yeah, you know, Nick Massey was one of those guys eliminated in the first round among others, including myself. And, you know, Nick just had a really rough first round. Unfortunately, things didn't go his way. And a lot of guys had really strong regular seasons, giving themselves a bit of a points advantage on us here. This was a racing incident, our previous yellow here. The 18 and 44, Goodman and Personette ruled as a racing incident, no tally. So that is good news for those guys. But for some others involved, I don't think that makes too much of a difference whatsoever.
Nope. 27 in the 9 there. I believe we said the 27 car was out.
Yeah, 27 car has parked it for the event. The 9 of Dustin Dewar coming back on track now, as well as Joey Chapman. Michael Goodman's still out there, but he definitely has some damage on that 44 machine. You can see that right front a little messed up there as well. Brent Jones just ahead of him also with a fair bit of nose damage.
These cars look like they've been at Bristol, and that's next week.
Yeah, that's what's going to make things even more interesting as we do go to Bristol next week, which will be quite exciting. Lights are off on the pace car, Alex, on lap 46 here in the Kansas 200.
All right, so the top 4 drivers not pitting. First one on new tires, Jared Rexing in that 10 car.
Yeah,
Not
Jared Rexing just row 3.
Josh Clark, maybe he just needed track position.
Yeah, Josh Clark definitely needed the track position. Starting 4th on a restart, if we can go 20 laps or so, even if he does lose positions, which he likely will based off the tire differential, chances are he's only going to fall to maybe the late teens, which is still a jump over where he was running, and he'll be able to take advantage of that better than if he was starting way in the back. His pace car takes that sharp left-hand turn.
Barry has had to work his arm tonight. Green flag back in the air. We are once again racing. Nick Massey leads him off into turn number 1. Look at him fan out though. 3 wide already for 5th place. Chad Frankenfield in the middle. Joshua Clark on his outside. Matthew Weeks. Oh, that got tough.
Yeah, as you see, Chad Frankenfield able to take advantage of that, work his way back up into the top 5 as Josh Clark falls back with Ryan Gavel and Tate Lytle on his inside here. Those are fresh tires. Mathieu Weeks actually able to clear Frankenfield there. A little bit of contact between Frankenfield and Fody. I think Chad might have got a piece of the wall there as well.
Jared Rexing has already moved his way up to 3rd. And slicing just been Bronson Stafford. He'll now move to the inside as he puts that position under assault. He'll take it away.
Oh, Mathieu Weeks in the wall right there.
Yes. He's going to lose 2 spots. These restarts are chaotic. They're more about survival than anything else.
As you see Rexing
now marking the 48 car.
He didn't need to mark him for too long, Alex. He's taking that lead. Oh, Nick Massey gets the wall.
Car got a piece of the walls there. Why is that? Why are people? Oh, we have a crash. Rusty Capel, caution, and Dustin Dewar can't avoid him, or did he? But he hit the wall. 4th caution flag of the night. This is what Hank Steinmiller needed to see. I believe he will get the lucky dog as
looks like Brent Jones came down, yeah.
Yep. And just nipped the 9 car and got him out of shape.
Definitely unfortunate there for Rusty Capel. Was caught up in the 3rd caution of the night as well. So 2 cautions in a row, just kind of an innocent bystander there as we saw Jones come down into him there. Jones has not had the best of nights tonight, as you see a fair bit of damage on his number 89 213 Simware machine. Hopefully Brent Jones can get that thing fixed up. I know he was not looking forward to tonight. He was quite upset in practice about how the track was not driving very well. And I do believe that has carried over into the race for him as well.
And my apologies, I think I misspoke there earlier. Unfortunate for Steinmiller, being 2 laps, these cars that are involved in the cautions are going 1 lap down, and because of the caution flag, they are getting their lap back first. So it looks like Joey Chapman is going to be, I see, as being the first car 1 lap down in the 29th position. I think he will be awarded that pass.
Yeah, as we see Joey Chapman going by the field now, he will get his lap back, putting him back onto the lead lap. So a great opportunity for the 60 machine of Chapman to get back into this thing. We're just over about a 1/3 of the way through it, so lots of opportunity for Chapman to work his way back, and Hank Steinmiller as well, as now Hank should be the one to get his lucky dog next, but with the way these cautions are going, you never know.
It's hard to get 2 laps. Once you're 2 laps down, it's pretty hard because you're always competing against people that are just going down 1 lap, and even if they're 1 lap, they're ahead of you because you're 2 laps down. So it's going to be very hard. Steinmiller his position is pretty dire at this point. You saw no tally for the 9 and the 89, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, that could potentially be one that is looked back over by the administrative team after the conclusion of tonight's Kansas 200, as it did look to us as if the 89 came down across the nose of the 9. But we'll leave it to the professionals there in race control to make that call right now, and we'll have to stay tuned to see if anything changes on that later on. But Jared Rexing remains the leader. Nick Massey, Ryan Gavel, Bronson Stafford, Chad Frankenfield top 5, with Tyler Fody, Tate Lytle, Shane Terrian, Gerald Campbell, and Johnny Thomas the top 10.
we are under caution for the fourth time. Pace car lights are still on, so we'll take a moment to go for a break, leave you with some. Welcome back. Cleaning up our fourth caution flag of the night. Barry the Flagman has had a lot of work to do lately. We'll see if we can give his arm a rest here. We're back under the green flag here at Kansas Geared Racing. Your leader once again, Ryan Gavel, and Nick Massey just behind him.
Looked like a nice restart there for Ryan Gavel, able to make a bit of a jump there. Looks like that would be Bronson Stafford in the wall there, getting swallowed up now by his teammate Shane Terrian, falling back in the field. But Gavel got a nice jump, was able to get right to the rear bumper of Jared Rexing, but now Rexing able to pull away a little bit. Jared Rexing has some speed in that Nesquik machine tonight. He's putting the quick in Nesquik, that's for sure.
Running a familiar paint scheme for those that were around with Jeff Green there. And speaking of Jeff Green,
there's a Christmas car. Jeff Green.
Want to go back to the top 5 though, or top 10 there. Tate Lytle has lost a couple of spots. He's back in the 7th position there. These restarts have not gone kindly for him. He's one of these drivers that wants it to go green.
Yeah, Tate Lytle, one of those drivers that really excels when it comes to green flag racing here. As you see him go to the outside of Nick Massey in the 48 machine, that is a battle for 6th. Just ahead of them is Gerald Campbell. Gerald having an excellent night tonight, up 21 spots from the starting position. So that is definitely something we have to keep an eye on, as Gerald showing great pace here. You know, he just announced a week or so ago that he does have a full-time ride for next Cup season. He wants to go for another championship in Elite, and he wants to make that a Cup title, as he currently runs in the 5th spot. Whoa.
Close there, right behind him. You saw 3-wide action with Nick Massey in the middle. I saw somebody blinking there.
Yeah, I believe that was the 16 machine of Wesley Crump. It looks like the... contact between Crump and Rucker there. That's Wesley Crump up in the outside wall.
He cannot get out of it. And he is going to lose a number of spots.
As he continues to fall, just now getting off of the wall. He was up in the top 10 there, and he has now fallen back to 26th. So that was a drop of about 20 or so spots back to 26 for Wesley Crump. Luckily, the whole field was very observant, able to get by without any additional contact. But Andrew Rucker may have a bit of damage. Yes, he does, as we briefly saw there as he sped by our camera over in turn number 2.
I think that was just two drivers kind of going for the same spot.
Absolutely, there. Alex. It's good, tight racing here just before halfway in this event. We're taking a look at the side of the Rucker machine. Actually not looking too bad. A little bit of a paint scuff, but he should be okay to continue on running in the 11th position now. Up 11 spots from his starting.
Just outside of the top 10. And thankfully, as we see, another car just behind. It's like the 61 car.
Yeah, that's Bronson Stafford. We just saw him in the wall a few moments ago as well. So he is definitely struggling. I believe he's still on older tires. We need to double check on that.
And he hit the wall again as we were talking about it. And that blocked the track. Or the path for, I believe, is that Harrison Talon? Yes.
That is Harrison Talon. Just a note, last pit stop for Bronson Stafford, lap 31. So he has gone 31 laps on his tires, as there is nearly a wreck there between Harrison Talon and Bronson Stafford, as Stafford continuing to fall back through the field. Wesley Crump now passing him after his contact with the wall. So things getting a little interesting in the back, but the battle's about to heat up here for second between Ryan Gavel and Chad Frankenfield.
Right now, Gavel, the highest of our playoff runners currently. But they all have some work if they're trying to catch that 10 car who has been glued to the bottom of the track. We saw him search a little bit, but I think he likes his car right painting that white line.
Absolutely. As you know, we did just see Chad Frankenfield in the battle for second, but he just lost third to Tyler Fody. And just a quick note, Bronson Stafford coming down pit road now. A few wall taps has made him think otherwise about his strategy, as he has bailed and come down pit road for some fresh tires.
He will lose a lap, and again, that's not what Hank Steinmiller in that 63 wanted to see.
As we see Hank Steinmiller back here.
He'll still be in front of Steinmiller one lap down in case the yellow flag comes out.
Just a quick note on that. First up for the lucky dog position would be Rusty Capel in the number 9 machine now, followed by Bronson Stafford and Hank Steinmiller third. Hank's still 2 laps down, so he may need to take advantage of some strategy and stay out for a wave round.
I was surprised he didn't, during one of the caution flights, he didn't stay out for that wave round there.
Yeah, unfortunately for Hank, on pretty much all of our cautions so far that he's been a lap down, we have seen guys stay out, preventing those lap cars from getting a lap back, as we see David Tucker have a bit of a run there, running in the 19th spot. He's actually up 11 spots from his starting position now. He qualified back in 30th, so David Tucker kind of getting back into the swing of things after a few weeks away and doing a fairly nice job. But I do want to give a quick shout out to the biggest mover of the race so far. We find him running in the 11th position, up 24 positions. That is none other than Joshua Personette in the number 18 machine. Josh doing a great job out here tonight. One of those guys that he's just out here for fun, out here to try to steal a win, and he's looking pretty strong.
Had that earlier issue with Michael Goodman, and I don't remember if he has a tally or not, but
I do believe it was a racing incident. No tally given on that. So Josh clean and clear right now, and making himself look pretty good out there.
Good job in that 18 car. Also want to give a shout out to the 37 car. How about Ethan Burrell? Has it run with his new lifestyle, has been unable to race with us on Wednesday nights, and I miss this driver out in the field, and it's great to see him having a good day today, keeping his nose clean and doing an excellent job here, running along in the 14th now position.
Yeah, last time we saw Ethan Burrell in one of these Cup cars was way early in the season at Bristol Dirt, where he finished, I believe, in 44th, where we had an extended field. I don't even believe he scored a point in that event. And he had a night off here tonight and decided to come out and run and doing a good job, up 17 spots to 14th here. As you see a battle there, Mathieu Weeks, Josh Personette, Andrew Rucker, and Johnny Thomas just ahead of him. So nice to have Ethan Burrell back in the field, just out here to try to steal a win from these guys as well. As you see a battle for second shaping up between Ryan Gavel, Tyler Fody.
Fody is doing exactly what he needs to do, score the most points and be there at the end. And I believe he'll probably become the second driver to lock himself into that championship four based on points here tonight.
As you see, 3 wide back here, Zach Rogers, Shane Terry, and Josh Clark. 2 chase drivers and a rookie. 3 wide there for 7th. But yeah, as you mentioned, Tyler Fody was up in a great position entering tonight.
Yeah, just nipped the ball right there. It gave Fody up to the second position there, and guess who's driving back into the picture? That 56 car.
Yeah, the 56 able to take advantage of Gavel. Gavel actually gets another good run here, able to pull away a little bit from Tate Lytle. That's exactly what he needs, as those two are battling for a position in the playoffs. Scott Crump running the outside wall there, doing a nice job of it as well.
Well, we're past halfway. That means we're getting to trouble.
Oh, David Tooker.
In the 19 with an issue on the back stretch. We stay green. But something went awry on the back straightaway there. And it's going to cost David Tooker a number of spots.
As we take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay here, watch the 19 machine of David Tooker on the bottom there behind Jeff Green's 38. Looks like Josh Personette almost gets the wall ahead of him. Tooker might have reacted thinking that Personette was coming down, but does a great job keeping out of the wall. Everyone does a nice job. You see Massey do an avoidance maneuver there, but no harm, no foul, just a bad set of tires at this point, as David Tooker able to continue on.
It's your breath, though. I mean, we don't necessarily always see those moments, but you've had those moments there, Robert. What is that like?
Yeah, you know, when you feel that car start to become uneasy, sliding sideways just a little bit, your first focus is trying to save it and keep it out of the wall, but also keep it out of your competitors' cars. Because the last thing you want to do is take somebody out and ruin somebody's night. You know, for me, if it comes down to having to put myself in the wall to avoid wrecking somebody else, I will do so, because I'd rather end my own night than end somebody else's night by my own mistake. But you definitely feel your blood pressure skyrocket when something like that happens, as we see a battle here, Mathieu Weeks and Zach Rogers for the 9th spot.
Mathieu Weeks has fallen a little bit back toward the 9th position there. I believe he is still on those older tires.
Yeah, I do believe so, as I'll double check here. Mathieu Weeks last pit on lap number 51. So he is actually on some of the freshest tires in the field, as he is working his way back up in the field.
Okay.
Another guy on fresh tires here is Josh Clark, who we recently saw running way back in the 29th spot, now up
right
into
there.
8th.
Had to get out of the gas there. You saw Mathieu Weeks get around him. But you're right, Clark has made definitely improvements with race car, and it's showing in its running position up in the 9th spot.
Absolutely, as Josh Clark definitely needing a good point stay there. Chad Frankenfield on the bottom falling back now, as I believe his tires are starting to level off here, as guys like Weeks and Clark on fresher rubber starting to get a little bit of an advantage, as you see guys like Johnny Thomas and Ethan Burrell entering the picture here, 11th and 12th respectively. Good runs for those guys, as Chad Frankenfield about to lose another spot to Josh Clark.
Hey, Robert, we have a new leader. It is not Jared Rexing. It is now Tyler Foley.
Yeah, we've been watching the action in the midfield here as Tyler Fody was able to get past Jared Rexing. Just another quick update, Nick Massey has entered pit lane just a few moments ago, so he's falling through the field currently as Tyler Fody is able to pull to a 0.4 of a second lead as Jared Rexing and Tay Lytle battle for that second spot.
Interesting, and I would like to know, I need to start asking what a fuel run is for these drivers here.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get that number tonight. It seemed like there was quite a bit of action in practice preventing these guys from really getting a fuel run in, so we weren't able to get a good read, but I do believe it's somewhere in the 50 lap or so range. I may be completely off on that as we see these guys looking 3 wide. Just about. It goes back to 2 wide now with Shane Terry and Scott Crump. Mathieu Weeks says, no, we're going to go 3 wide again as he takes to the high side. And just a quick note, Scott Crump and Mathieu Weeks have had a bit of a rivalry for quite a while now. So if things get a little too tight, one of them may get pushed out of the way.
They're saying that they're not afraid to use their bumpers.
Absolutely not. These two not afraid to use their bumpers, but a guy like Mathieu Weeks definitely wants to keep as many guys in his corner as he can, as things got a little tight right there.
He got a bit of the wall. And a Scott Crump trying to come back. Oh my
we're
goodness.
wrecking.
And around goes
Big
Gavel.
wreck.
Tarian goes around, and this is going to bring out a yellow flag. I believe it does. Yellow number 5 is out. And Scott Crump, I was just mentioning how he had rebounded from his earlier spin to bring out the first caution, a victim now of the 5th one.
I just want to point out that I do believe nobody hit the wall there on the bottom, but let's take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened. Scott Crump, Ryan Gavel, and Shane Terrian all involved.
I saw Ryan Gavel get loose first, though.
Yeah, it looks like Gavel got loose there.
And he hit the wall.
Almost gets... Crump comes down to avoid, gets into Terrian. So it's kind of 2 separate incidents here. Gavel able to avoid the wall up ahead, as Terrian and Crump do as well. So nice job by these guys. Nobody gets into the wall, and they're all able to continue on with very minor damage to their cars and maybe a little bit to their egos. But that is not too bad for those guys whatsoever, as we have passed halfway here in the Kansas 200. Looks like everybody coming down pit road.
And I believe you're right there. Ryan Gavel got a piece of the wall there. Scott Crump reacting to that, and that's what set that off there.
Yeah, it did look like 2 separate incidents where there was Gavel kind of getting loose and almost into the outside wall there, and then everyone else just doing a bit of an avoidance maneuver, trying not to get into him, as we do see the entire field on pit road. Rusty Capel just took the wave around to get back out front, as we'll watch and see who wins the race off pit road here. Tate Lytle out of his box. Tyler Fody, I believe, gets the edge here, and he does. Tyler Fody, your new race leader.
He was the leader getting onto pit road.
Your current and existing race leader, Tyler Fody. But nice game by Mathieu Weeks, Josh Clark there, 3rd and 4th. Yes. Chad Frankenfield in 5th.
Pro Edge Racing, a heck of a pit stop.
Yeah, Pro Edge definitely bringing the strong pit crews tonight, as they have 4 cars inside the top 10, with Ethan Burrell just entering the top 10 now in the 10th position. So great job by Pro Edge. But as we are just past halfway, Alex, we might as well send it back to our friends at TA Services to hear from them once again in the Kansas 200.
Are we still muted?
Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Rizzy Cam is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. Join APS offers a complete solution for all types of businesses that need to process credit card-related transactions. Their industry-specific solutions provide the best options for your business model. They have experienced client service representatives who understand what your processing needs are. Check out Join APS today, and thank you to all of our premier partners for helping us out this season.
Alrighty. Cleaning up caution number 5 puts the field back in the hands of Talafoti. He elects to start on the outside. Green flag back in the air. These restarts have been chaotic. What will we see this time around?
Yeah, as you see here, up inside the top 10, we see Ryan Gavel getting a little bit racy here. Looking in the middle now, back down to the bottom in front of Jared Rexing. There was a quick update from race control. That was 2 separate incidents that brought out the yellow, as we saw. The 01 and the 11, as well as the 90 and the 83. Both of those are deemed racing deals. No tallies given. So that is great for these guys. As what is also great is the racing that they're putting on right now. Battles absolutely everywhere.
And how about Gavel, who brought out that costume? He's still in the 5th position there.
Yeah, Ryan Gavel looking really strong here in the 5th spot. Another one looking really good is Josh Clark, who just made the pass on him for the, or actually he's just behind him in the 6th position. He's up 15 spots, but we saw him not too long ago back in 29th. So Josh Clark doing a great job with his strategy calls tonight to try to get himself in a good points position.
Wall.
Jared Rexing, yeah, like you mentioned, in the wall here. He is going to lose positions. Zach Rogers, Johnny Thomas. Trey Holmes just behind them as well.
That car. Looks like he gets it off and going. Momentum loss. But for now, that 10 car up front. Or trying.
Yeah, Jared Rexing barely holding on to that top 10 as he is running in the 9th spot. Johnny Thomas takes a little bit inside and makes better of it. Closest battle up here inside the top 10 is Ryan Gavel, Josh Clark, and Zach Rogers with Tate Lytle just ahead of them. And Ethan Burrell in the picture as well. So Burrell doing a great job. He's up 24 positions to the 7th spot now, after basically not driving this car at all for months. So great job by Ethan Burrell. He's looking really good. He's been a winner in the series before, and he'll likely do it again. Ryan Gavel now looking to the inside of Tate Lytle for 4th position, and it looks like he will get it.
Doing an excellent job so far in that 37 machine, but who's doing an even better job? How about that 40 car, our leader up front? We were talking about him pointing his way in. He might win the race and not have to worry about his points because he'll have locked himself in that way.
Yeah, Tyler Fody is an incredibly strong driver, one of the best talents we have here in Elite Racing League, and he's always a threat to win these races. And when he's looking as strong as he is right now, I definitely think he's someone we have to watch for the next 42 or so laps as we do come down to the final stages of this event here. And that Blue Egg marketing machine looking really good.
He's done a great job there, keeping that 40 out of trouble and out of harm's way. Just behind Mathieu Weeks, we documented he has nothing to lose here tonight and everything to gain by perhaps trying to go for 2 and a hole in 1, a hole in 2, depending on how you look at it. By sweeping both races early in this season for the round of 9.
Another guy hoping for a great run here tonight is Chad Frankenfield. He's been up around the top 5 all night, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. He's been just about everywhere. Is Frankenfield currently running in the 3rd spot, doing a nice job collecting the points he needs to hopefully build a little bit of a gap heading into the final race of this 2nd round. But just behind them, another chaser needed a big run tonight. He's having one. Ryan Gavel up 12 spots from his starting position, currently running 4th, just ahead of Joshua Clark in 5th. Clark has been a silent assassin here tonight as he does take a look to the inside of Gavel, thinks better of it, and he is collecting those points he needs as well. Just ahead of Ethan Burrell, Tate Lytle, another guy needing a big run tonight. He's currently getting beat by a few playoff guys, so he's going to need to pick up a few more spots here, but he can definitely do it. And Jared Rexing, our pole sitter, he's battling back and forth all night long, running 8th ahead of Johnny Thomas and Zach Rogers, who are currently battling for the 9th position.
Excellent job in that 12th car there for the rookie.
Absolutely my teammate there.
Just behind them, outside of the top 10, you had mentioned there at one point had made up the most spots here.
Yeah, Josh Personette currently up 24 positions. The only person in this field who has gained more spots is Ethan Burrell, who has gained 25 positions. That is quite the night so far for Personette, as he is now looking to the inside of Zach Rogers to get inside the top 10. And just a quick update on Hank Steinmiller. He did get back to 1 lap down, but unfortunately with the luck Hank has had, Nick Massey has now fallen 1 lap down and is currently sitting in the lucky dog position.
Just when you think you have the right strategy, or if things are going your way, something else comes along as we see Joshua Personette with an off-track excursion. Can he save it before he hits turn 3? He does, but my goodness, he'll have lost a couple of spots and perhaps spin out. No, he'll keep it pointed in the right direction, but something went awry on that 18 machine on the backstretch.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened to Joshua Personette there, as we'll take a quick look on the WhiskeyCast replay, see what happened to the 18 machine battling side by side with the 12 of Zach Rogers here, just behind them.
Battle inside the top 10.
This was a battle for the 10th position. They're just ahead of Chris Wright here. You can see the 18 car starting to step out there as they exit turn number 2. And yeah, he just takes a slide and unfortunately does not have the opportunity to come back up on the track in front of the field. He's still collecting it there on the back straightaway, basically all the way around to the exit of turn 4. But Josh Personette does a great job keeping that thing rolling and keeping this race under the green flag, as Tyler Fody will come around turn 4 here to take the flag on lap 100 with just 34 to go in the Kansas 200. These guys are doing a great job here tonight.
So Jared Rexing and Ethan Burrell battling there. That battle inside the top 10. And I don't know if we are done with a final pit stop here. When was the last time these guys were on pit road there? About 10 laps ago. We think that was right on the edge of their fuel window. We don't know though.
So we are coming up on 20 laps on this set of tires for these guys. Last pit on lap number 82 for most of these guys. So the tires are definitely going to start falling off here shortly if they did not do a good job of saving, as we see cars fanning out all over the place here at Kansas, which is quite the fun track. Chad Frankenfield, I believe, might have just got a piece of the wall, as he's now up to the second spot with Ryan Gavel in third and Mathieu Weeks on his bumper.
You could say so.
Yeah, Weeks trying to make a move on the outside.
Between the 01 and the 11 on the front stretch right there.
Yeah, as you can see, Mathieu Weeks bump drafting the 01 of Gavel on the back straightaway. This is Kansas, not Talladega or Daytona. So Mathieu Weeks getting a little excited out there.
Why not rattle your competition, get inside their head? He can do so. He has a basically 2-week free pass. We saw that with Joey Logano, and spoiler alert, it worked out for him pretty well at Phoenix this year.
Absolutely, it could not have worked out much better whatsoever for Joey Logano. As Johnny Thomas is up inside the top 10. Andrew Rucker in the outside wall there, while trying to make a pass. They're 3 wide now, Alex.
You see him and Scott Crump. That's a battle just outside of the top 10 for the 11th spot.
Yeah, these guys are getting a little antsy right now, as we have only 30 laps remaining in Kansas. You know, that might seem like a lot of laps, but it can definitely go by quickly. Ryan Gavel on the apron here.
Gavel is going to go around in turn 3. He spins.
Rexing, Thomas, Crump.
And more pile into the aftermath. The pole sitter gets a hit in our 6th caution flag of the night. And just as you were talking about, Robert Hill, these drivers and their tires, they were starting to get antsy on them, and the 01 just lost it.
Yeah, let's take a look at that one on the Whiskey Cast replay. Ryan Gavel in the number 01. I'm going to back this up a little bit further as we could see some tire smoke as we entered the frame here. It looks like contact with the 15 of Chad Frankenfield. Chad just comes off the wall, actually, as we'll back this up one more time and go quarter speed. You watch the 15 of Frankenfield. He's going to grab the wall here as they're exiting turn number 2. And he's going to get released from the wall, come down the track into Gavel. So that sets Gavel's car upset as you see him sliding down the back straightaway. Does a fairly nice job holding onto it through the back straightaway, but once you get on the apron, it upsets that car much more as you see him sideways here. Rexing enters the picture. Johnny Thomas gets through it. Scott Crump grabbed a little piece of it, but these guys definitely damaged
the 28
here.
Car, Joshua Clark had a good view of that and just missed getting into it as well. But the 01, the luck for the 01 has been horrendous as of late. He's been the star of our latest 2 caution flags as we are right on board this 28 machine. And watch this.
As you see the 01 of Gavel sideways directly ahead of him here.
Inside. That is the 10 car of Jared Rexing, so he can't go and is outside. And he just misses the 01. That was luck. Sometimes you rather be lucky than good. And that was a little bit of both playing out there. You see
wow,
the 10 car not avoid him. And there's Johnny Thomas.
That is incredible for Josh Clark to be able to get through that with no damage whatsoever and still run inside the top 5. His season was staring him directly in the face there, Alex.
Yeah.
As he came off of, or as he entered turn number 3 and saw the 01 machine of Gavel completely sideways, nowhere to go. Ethan Burrell to his outside, Rexing to his inside, and it just worked for him. Another racing incident here between the 15 and the 01, so no tally issued on that one either. These guys are getting away with some tallies tonight.
Well, as you mentioned there, perhaps Race Control will go back and look back, but that did look like a racing incident, not trying to start anything.
No, that definitely was a racing incident for sure. Chad got a piece of the wall, and sometimes these walls just kick you out as they want to release you. They chew you up and spit you out basically, and that's what happened to the 15 of Frankenfield. Just unfortunate for Gavel.
And it happened to the 01 in the previous wreck. So you live by the sword, you die by it.
That's exactly correct.
For the 01. Could we see though who was the pole? Excuse me, not pole sitter. Who won the Lucky Dog Award there?
Lucky Dog on the previous caution here, the number 48 of Nick Massey.
So not what Hank Steinmiller wanted to see.
Hank Steinmiller does remain one lap down, but unless somebody wrecks in the next 2 minutes, Hank Steinmiller is the only car one lap down at this point. So he's hoping that we get a quick caution to put him back on the lead lap and give him an opportunity at least to gain some spots. I mean, it's going to be tough at this point for Hank, as we'll just take a quick look again at the points entering tonight, as it doesn't really want to load for us here. But I'll read it off anyways. Hank Steinmiller was 28 points out entering tonight's race, so that's a big gap for him to gain. Shane Terrian was 10 out. Shane running in the 12th spot. Josh Clark currently running in 6th. He was 7 points out entering tonight. Ryan Gavel, we just saw him in that incident. He's running 24th. He was 4 out. Tate Lytle in 4th was 2 out. Chad was 2 to the good. He's running 2nd. R.C. Anderson, of course, not here. And then Tyler Fody was 29 points to the good already, and he is currently your race leader. So he's looking to lock himself in tonight as we'll send it back down to Barney the Flagman.
He's had a lot to wave. This green flag, once again, now for the 6th time. A restart here. Tyler Fody and Chad Frankenfield get things back under the green flag. Tyler Fody gets a good jump.
Yeah, Tyler Fody did a nice job there, Alex.
Chad Frankenfield, you know, he can smell a win, and he has been so close.
Yeah,
the yellow flag yet?
No. No. Just looking at this, Alex, no. We're not done with the cautions. I don't even think we're done with the cautions in the next 10 laps.
We see the 90 and the 57 car trade a little paint right there.
Yeah, a little bit of paint trading doesn't do too much damage.
The rebound he has had in that 90 machine. I mean, talk about the day. He has spun out both the first caution, the 5th caution. He's back up inside the top 10. There is no give up in that 90 car.
Yeah, Scott Crump known to really be one of those guys that never does give up in these events. You know, he could have the worst sequence of laps, 10 laps in a row, where he's caught up in incidents or hits the wall or just has miserable laps, and he'll stick to it as Shane Terrian gives him a little bump there. Just saying hello to the number 90 machine, but Crump, like I was mentioning, is one to really stick to it, and he's doing a great job now, running in the 6th spot, battling for 6 now with Shane Terrian. Shane's having a nice run as well on his outside, but that little bump there might not sit too well with Scott, as we see Jared Rexing on the apron, not too far behind here.
All right, the counter has switched down. I like to do this here, Robert, and you've been with me before here. Who do you like here as we get to the final 26 laps, now 23 because we were late to go? Who do you think is going to win tonight's race?
So I think looking at the field right now, as we'll actually pull up the previous lap times for these guys, they're all looking fairly close. Shane Terrian the quickest. I think I really have to go with Tyler Fody. Tyler's been on a roll in just about every series that I've seen him in so far in the playoffs, and I really think he's got momentum on his side, and he's going to take a victory tonight and walk his way towards the championship final.
Well, darn, you picked mine. But I guess it's easy to go with since he is up front. But how about Chad Frankenfield? I'll go with my second guess, and currently applying a lot of pressure to the back bumper. Chad has not won a race here in, I believe, 2 seasons in his league, and I know he wants to desperately get the monkey off his back.
Absolutely.
It would be quite an honor to see that 15 car back in victory lane.
Absolutely, and the way he's running tonight, it wouldn't surprise me if he is able to take victory. Chad's one of those guys that you always see running incredibly strong, but there's just something at the end of these events that just prevents him from taking the checkered flag. I know that he would be probably pretty emotional if he took the victory here tonight, and I definitely hope he does, as we'll get the chance to interview him and walk him through those tears if he does.
Well, just 20 to go. 19 next time by. Battle between Pro Edge Racing teammates there for that 3rd position. Tate Lytle just got ahead of Mathieu Weeks. And Shantarian in that 5th position. They're holding pretty steady, but those guys are about a second back.
Yeah, as we'll switch back to the gap there on the tower so you can see that difference. Mathieu Weeks gets the wall there. Fairly heavy contact for him. Pancakes the right side as he is remaining there in 4th, but Shantarian probably going to take that spot here momentarily. Yeah, it is a second between them as Chad Frankenfield is right there now for that race lead. Taking a look to the inside of Tyler Fode.
Oh, he is. And he is there. We'll see if that 15 could round the bottom. But such high momentum kept up top. And the 40's able to deflect that move there. We'll see if it works on this end of the speedway.
Chad Frankenfield trying to use the opposite line there. Unfortunately for him, Tyler Fode does get a little bit of a run and pull away just a bit, but they do continue to have that 1 second lead over Tate Lytle and Mathieu Weeks. But
they're driving away.
They are indeed driving away.
A little bit. Both 1st and 2nd, not only racing amongst themselves, and Chad is driving his heart out.
Absolutely. Chad definitely driving his heart out here. He knows that he doesn't necessarily have to take the victory tonight to lock himself into that final round, but it does help for sure not having to worry about it at Bristol.
Who knows? You could have a terrible night.
That's absolutely correct, Alex. You never know. You could be the guy that's running 25th in this race tonight, and you can go out and win Bristol. Or you can be the guy that wins tonight and finish 30th next week. So there's so much that can go wrong at a place like that you really want to take advantage of whatever you can here at a track like Kansas. As we do take a quick look further in the field, we see a couple more Pro Edge cars there. Josh Clark in the 8th position, Ethan Burrell, and one of their affiliates there, Trey Holmes, separating the Pro Edge cars is David Tucker running in 11th. So these guys all having a great night tonight for Pro Edge. All 5 of them up in the top 11. So that's pretty incredible for that group.
Yeah, David Tucker, who had that half kind of spin on the backstretch there, rebounding nicely, trying to get inside the top 10. 14 to go. And this battle for the lead, though, will not quit. Now we see Tyler Fode on the bottom and Chad Frankenfield on the top. A little bit of spots lost, though, by Frankenfield.
The one thing I do have to point out, though, is Tate Lytle now below a second of a difference between himself and the top 2, as he is right there. Tate Lytle may have saved a little bit of tire, and he may have something for these guys with 13 laps remaining here at Kansas. Things are about to heat up and get real exciting, Alex.
We talked about Tate Lytle having a long run race car, and that's exactly what this race could be. Is this run to the finish long enough for that 56 car to come to life? And right now it's looking like he's doing so. He clipped off a tenth of a second that last lap.
Yeah, as you do see Tate Lytle continuing to cut into that lead that we saw Frankenfield and Fody have just moments ago. Now he's only 0.6 of a second behind these two, as he's going to come up on Chad rather quickly here and make this a 3-car race for the lead. And we really cannot count Mathieu Weeks out here, as he could get that draft from the 56 machine and be right in this as well. But Tate Lytle definitely wants to lock himself in right now and not have to worry about Bristol.
Oh, I saw Tate Lytle there just scraped the wall there. I believe that 56 car is hungry. And he has definitely caught the top two. So we're about to have a 3-horse race for the lead. As you excuse my dog in the background there, sorry.
The dog is Tate Lytle's biggest fan right now.
Yeah.
As Tate's going to dive to the inside here, get a run on Frankenfield. He's going to be right there as we come off of turn 4. 10 laps to go in the Kansas 200. It's a 3-horse race between Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield, and Tate Lytle. All 3 of them currently looking to lock themselves into the final round and race for a championship here in a few weeks, which would be real nice for all 3 of them.
Yeah. Lytle, who comes in here actually below our defending series champ, doing all he can, and he definitely has the time and the pace in that car to get around these two. The problem is, though, he has to get around not 1, but 2.
And he can definitely do it, as you see, only 0.3 of a second. The difference between Tate Lytle and Chad Frankenfield just behind them. Scott Crump, Mathieu Weeks are battling for 4th, but we'll keep an eye on this battle up front as Tate Lytle continuing to cut into that lead. Chad Frankenfield also cutting into the lead of Tyler Fody. These 3 are going to be under a blanket here momentarily, as all 3 of them will have a legitimate shot at this victory.
I wouldn't say momentarily. I'd say right now there, Robert. They are all right there.
Absolutely. As you see Tate get a great run into the corner there. Fody seems to be able to work that bottom and pull away just a little bit, but these 2 seem to get him in the second half of the lap, as you'll see Tate Lytle come up to the rear bumper of Chad Frankenfield, just about through the rear bumper, as he's looking to the outside of Chad Frankenfield,
and I
trying to make a move.
That is going to be, well, he got to the outside there, and that could hurt as we see Rusty Capel off track. He gets it pointed in the right direction. We stay under the green flag. But Tate Lytle, who's able to get to the outside, if he can clear the 15 car, which he is able to do so, he fell back just a little bit, making that pass, but now he has a clear path to the 40 car.
Absolutely exactly what Tate Lytle needed, as he had to clear that 15 of Frankenfield and have a little bit of clear air to try to catch Tyler Fody. Just 6 laps remaining for Fody in the 40 machine, and he's able to maintain a little bit of a lead over Tate Lytle. What these guys are hoping for, though, is that a yellow flag does not come out, because that can completely change this entire race, as we have some guys through this field that may opt to take tires and get a good run, or we may see these leaders come down if a caution were to come out, and all of a sudden it's changed everything.
There are, well, of the 35 drivers here tonight, I know we have a couple that are out, but 34 of them would not probably be happy to see the caution flag. The one, though, that would be Hank Steinmiller, who's been desperately trying to get back on the lead lap ever since, I believe, the 2nd or 3rd caution flag, but it might be too little too late, and his hopes of having a good day might rest next week at Bristol, as we're under 4 to go for Tyler Fody, who has just been Mr. Consistency all season long, trying to not point his way, but win his way into the championship for him.
You know, he's actually pulling away from Tate Lytle now, as I do believe Tate may have cooked his thing a little bit too much, trying to catch the 40 of Tyler Fody. So it's Fody, Lytle, Frankenfield, your top 3, with Scott Crump, Mathieu Weeks top 5, but Shane Terrian to the inside of Weeks there for 5th. as these guys battle for that position. Jared Rexing doing a nice job rebounding into 7th with Josh Clark, Ethan Burrell, and Chris Wright rounding out the top 10. So a nice grab bag of drivers up here, but it's been mostly Tyler Fode in this event, Alex, since he was able to take the lead, and he's just really maintained it for a long while now.
Doing so, he just needs a 2.5 laps in order to get that golden ticket here. 2 laps to go. And if they cross the stripe, the next flag will end the race there. You don't want to see a yellow flag. It could still come out here with 2 to go, but currently, I think we're seeing our next driver to punch their ticket into the championship 4 as a 56 car. Ooh, was he in the wall right there?
I do believe he may have grabbed a piece of the wall. Tyler Fode, though.
Tyler Fode.
Tyler Fode needs just a few more corners to get back to the lead. They are wrecking in the back of the field. Justin Vandermeer, Jeff Green, Harrison Talon involved. But that will not bring out a yellow here.
And now just a mile to the checkered flag and a golden ticket to Nashville. Tyler Fode has been Mr. Consistency all season long. He'll be rewarded with a win here tonight, and a championship 4 spot is his. Congratulations, Tyler Fode, winner of the Kansas 200.
As Barry gets one final workout of that arm, waving the checkered flag here tonight. Like you mentioned, Tyler Fode able to lock himself into the championship 4. That is now 2 series this week that he's locked himself into, winning the Grand National Series on Monday and the Cup Series tonight. So Tyler Fode, like I mentioned, on a roll, and I'm able to pick up the victory with my race winner right there.
That's true, but you went first.
I did indeed. I had a bit of an advantage. You see Scott Crump get turned off the nose of Andrew Rucker.
I think that was just him playing around right there.
Absolutely. You see Ethan Burrell, David Tucker coming to congratulate him. Hank taking a little drive around Fode, maybe thinking he can get himself back on the lead lap that way. Not the case, but
it has been a race to forget, and sometimes you have those here. But how about this 40 Blue Egg Chevy Camaro there, doing an excellent job winning tonight's Kansas 200. And you had mentioned the second race he's won here, second championship 4 that he'll be a part of here tonight.
Yeah, Tyler Fode able to... Oh! As David Tucker gives him a congratulatory launch to the moon. I think his burnouts are over.
I think so too. We have some people in the waiting room. Let's see if we can get them in here. Tate Lytle.
We do have Tate Lytle here. We'll go ahead and bring Tate up here in just a moment.
Yeah, he did grab a piece of the wall there. Tate, it's Alex up in the booth. Can you hear me?
I got you loud and clear there, brother.
Tate, every week it seems like I'm talking to you, and that's always a good thing. That means that you've had a good podium run here. Walking through your night, you got up to second place. You needed just a little bit more. You got around the 15, but you couldn't make it to the 40 car. What did you need more of from your car?
I probably needed like 10 more laps so I could save a little bit more tire. That run before, when we got the caution with however many to go, I don't even know, 20, 30. And I was catching them pretty good, about 0.2 a lap, but I had fallen back to like 8th. So I was really saving those first 10 laps. And I knew I was expecting a caution, so I knew I couldn't really do that. So I tried to just hold position and try and save as best I could. And I mean, when you're having to push that hard, it's going to be hard to save an extra second on a guy like Fode. So, but we gave it our all. We were just too loose there that last 6 or 7 laps. I got a little loose on the outside of Chad there with 7 or 8 to go, and I don't know, it was pretty over at that point. But fun racing. Same thing though. I mean, we gotta chill off Tyler Fode. Hopefully he's peaking a little too early, so we can go get him here in a couple of weeks when the pay window opens. But it was a fun race, better than I thought it would be. I wish there was less cautions. I really felt pretty good on the long run, but no complaints. Shout out to Days Gone By Vintage Racing Apparel. Go check them out. He's got an Etsy store, a bunch of cool stuff. If you're listening to this and you're buying me a Christmas gift, that's where you go. Let's see, what else? Shout out to my dad if he's watching. I forgot to send him the link, but I don't know if he's caught on to the whole Wednesday thing yet or not. I doubt it. But shout out to him if he's watching. Ash, also happy late birthday. He turned like 47 the other day, so he's getting up there. But yeah, fun race. Just wish I could have got one more car. But Tyler Fode, he's always going to be
Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to just beat him on raw pace week in, week out. It's normally you're doing pretty good to be equal with him, and you just got to take the track position on him when you can. But yeah, he's had a pretty good week. He won Monday too, so we gotta cool him off at some point.
Well,
absolutely.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead there, Robert.
Yeah, just quickly, Tate, obviously great run for you tonight, finishing second. You entered tonight 2 points out of the final spot in the final round. How are you feeling heading into Bristol next week, knowing that although you may have a bit of a buffer, you still have to get it done?
I think we're going to Richmond, so it's a little...
Well, we thought it was Bristol all night, so...
Let's see. I'll double check
Richmond.
for you right now. It's Richmond, yeah.
All right.
Richmond.
Even better.
No, you're good. Well, I like my odds at Richmond a little better. You can control your destiny a little bit better. But, yeah, I don't know what the points will shake out like. I know I only had like 2 points on Chad. And like 2 points on Gavel, and maybe 2 points back at Chad.
Yes, that's correct.
So I'll probably be 1 back at Chad in 4th. And then hopefully we got a little bit of a buffer. I think Clark had a pretty good run. I don't know where exactly he finished, but yeah, he ran 8th. So I mean, we can't screw off too much next week, but we'll have a little bit of a buffer, which being in the positives better than being in the negatives. So
I like that. Positives is better than the negatives. That was Tate Lytle here. We'd love to chat with you more, but we got to get our winner in, and then we gotta.
You don't have to. He's a bum. You don't got to talk to him.
Oh, okay. Well, I just saw him in the waiting room, but
yeah,
now he's gone, so maybe we won't talk to our.
No, he's in the transfer room. He's on his way in.
Oh.
Shout out to Fode. He's always hard competitor. Looking forward to going to Daytona with him here in a couple months. So hopefully I don't wreck him before then. But you guys have fun. Thanks
you
for
too. Thanks so much.
Thanks
Dave.
for watching us.
Always good talking.
Fake race cars. Deuces.
All right, and we will get Tyler Fode here, and there he is. He has now joined us in the room. The winner of tonight's Kansas 200. Tyler, you locked yourself in. It's the second time this week you've locked yourself into a Championship 4 race. It's been a pretty good week.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I think we're winning when we need to now.
What was it like getting this car to victory lane here tonight? And at what point did you think that you could get it done 2 in a row?
Yeah, well, it was a handful tonight, honestly. It was a really fun setup, but it was a little challenging because you had both lanes kind of working. And it was a mix of being tight and then also being loose on exit, which a lot of people were fighting with, being loose on exit. So the lane management was crucial, and I was kind of figuring that out the first little run we had. And then after that, kind of dialed in what I wanted to run with, and then started picking up some of the spots back. And I forget exactly what run it was, but we ended up grabbing the lead, and then from there just never looked back. Really, we had some cautions. We came in, we maintained the lead through the pit cycles. But I'll be honest, the last run, Chad was he was making me go faster than I wanted to, because I saw Tate was saving back in 3rd. And I knew I was going to have to hold Chad off, and then once Chad burned off, I was expecting Tate to come flying up on us, and he got by Chad, and that's when I was really worried. But it seemed like we leveled off with the last 10 laps or so, and kind of maintained that half-second gap. So really happy with that, and really happy to sweep the week.
Robert, you have anything for our winner here? He picked you in the booth, by the way.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, I kind of have to pick Tyler Fody at this point. It seems like every time I'm in the race booth, he takes victory. We've talked to him like the last 7 Grand National races in a row or something like that. So congratulations on your victory tonight, and obviously looking ahead to next week, it's an opportunity for you just to turn some laps. But what's your strategy kind of going into a race like that where maybe it doesn't mean anything to you? Is it just trophy hunting, or are you still trying to figure some things out and figure some drivers out ahead of the championship final?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think it's Richmond is next week, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, which is my all-time least favorite track. So I'm really happy that I was able to lock in tonight. I don't really know what I'd like to say I'm going trophy hunting next week, but odds are I will not be even in the top 5. But and I don't really know what else I can gain because the championship race is a bit different from Richmond. So I don't know. I'm just happy to be locked in, be stress-free. Maybe try and help the teammates out the best I can. A couple of them still need to get above that cut line, so we'll see. But I don't know. Looking forward to championship week now.
Well, you've certainly earned this next thing that I was going to say. We're giving you the chance to shout out anyone and anything you'd like as tonight's winner there. And congratulations on being a part of that Championship 4.
Yeah, appreciate it. As always, got to thank Blue Egg Marketing for being on the car. And also Kendall Noah Player and KNP Graphics for painting the cars. Shout out to the whole Lake Norman Motorsports group. Chris Wright was able to steal a top 10 tonight, so happy with that. And Gavel and Hank both had pretty fast cars, just unfortunate events there. So yeah, really happy racing with them, and hopefully we can get them on the right side of the cut line next week.
All right, that's Tyler Fody, winner of tonight's Kansas 200 and the second Championship 4 part that he will be a part of by virtue of his win here tonight. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Well, Robert, it was a good race here tonight. We have a lot that Kansas provided a lot of storylines, and Richmond, which we now know will be the next race, is definitely going to be an eye-opener and one that you won't want to miss.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be better that it's not Bristol for these guys as Tyler Fody was able to take the victory tonight, lock himself into that championship final in just a few weeks' time. So congratulations to him on that. Great race by these guys tonight, honestly, Alex. Everyone did a great job keeping it clean. We saw a few multi-car incidents that really just turned into racing deals. I believe only 1 or 2 cars really got taken out in any wrecks tonight, so they should all be fairly proud and happy with that. But I'm excited for Richmond next week. There's a couple guys that are very strong, still going to be looking for that opportunity to lock in to the final round of the playoffs in just a few weeks' time and go for a championship. So I think intensity is going to be high, excitement's going to be high, and we're going to have quite a show next week at Richmond.
If you thought tonight was must-watch, you're not going to want to miss next week at Richmond International Speedway there. Congratulations to Tyler Fody, winner of tonight's Kansas 200. So long from all of us here for the Elite Racing Network, and we will see you guys then Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time.